Hi, my name's Emily DeCluet. I'm the Water Resources Specialist here at Clair Region Conservation Authority in Strathroy, Ontario, Canada. Part of my role as the Water Resources Specialist is bringing in water level and climate data as part of our role in flood forecasting and warning. So every day, part of my job is to check the weather. It's the first thing I do every morning, and checking the weather forecast is extremely important because it helps give me an idea what's coming our way and if I could potentially be seeing a flood later in the week. The only thing with forecasts, unfortunately, is they're only accurate until about 3 days out. They're constantly changing. And when I'm looking at the weather, I'm looking at the temperature, how much precipitation, snow, rainfall amounts, the wind direction, the wind speed, and all of these things give me an indication if I'm going to see potentially a flash flood, maybe just some ponding in a park, rapid snow melt, ice jamming. So checking the weather is extremely important. With the weather report, I also need real-time water level data to compare it to. We have 11 stream gauges across the watershed, and what those do is record real-time water level data that I need to forecast floods. Unfortunately, it's really inefficient to drive around and take manual measurements. So to do that, we use WISKI and SODA, which is Water Information Systems by KISTERS, and their SODA application, which is simultaneous online data acquisition. And together, WISKI SODA brings in my data from my 11 stream gauges right into the office so that I can analyze the data and make decisions that are important in emergency measures related to flooding. So I'm here in SODA. I'm actually looking at the queue right now, and I'm dialing a few gauges, so that data is coming in automatically from my 11 stream gauges, and that'll go into my WISKI system for me to view. In my SODA, I have a few contingency plans built into place. The one being, I have several different poll plans. So I have one that polls all gauges every day in the morning, and then I have one that recurs every 6 hours, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, targeted to very specific emergency center stream gauges. The other thing about SODA is we're part of a hub system. So we actually have several conservation authorities in the hub with us, and that has a few contingency plans built into it. One being, if our power goes out here and our phone line no longer works, which is what we use to poll our gauges, I can actually piggyback on another conservation authority's phone line and have my gauges dial out on theirs. So that's one way that we make sure that the data is still coming in during an emergency situation. The other thing that's really great is I can bring in other conservation authority data. So data that is outside of my watershed where I don't have equipment, I can bring in and view that data, and that gives me an idea of maybe where the winds are coming from to the east of me, or what precipitation is falling north of the watershed where I don't have equipment, and gives me a better idea of what's hitting my headwaters. Once the data comes in through SODA, it's sent to WISKI for me to view. Now I'm bringing in a lot of parameters all at once, and it's really inefficient for me to comb through each parameter individually. So what I've set up in my WISKI is what we call standard graphs, where I can view several parameters at the same time. So on my screen right now, we're looking at my North Branch precipitation. What this is I have 5 different graphs set up in one view, showing me precipitation on the North Branch of the Sydenham River over the last 48 hours. This can give me an idea of where precipitation has landed over the last couple of days and how that's going to impact the river moving through the system to Wellsburg. I have other standard graphs set up as well, what I call my top of bank graphs. Now what those are elevation lines that show me where the top of the bank of the river is, and when that water level surpasses those top of bank lines, I know that we are breaching into floodplain, into park, and into roads. Another feature from KISTERS that we utilize a lot is KIAlarm, which is KISTERS Alarm Manager. What that is a series of critical thresholds that I've established on water level and precipitation rates, where if those levels are exceeded, I receive either an email or a text message to my phone. This is extremely useful for me because outside of work hours, when I still need to monitor those water levels, I can get the water level in my hand anywhere. So it's just another way that we're making something more efficient so that we can notify municipalities and road superintendents of emergency measures that they need to enact.